Are You OK Day is held on the second Thursday of every September, this year falling on the 12th, 2 weeks ago. A community event that prompts us to connect with our friends and neighbours. It gives us permission to broach a subject that every Australian is familiar with, but would never invite willingly into their lives. I've been reflecting this week on death, trying again to reconcile the loss of another friend in tragic circumstances, to attend another funeral of someone who, though he had lived so many good days, was overcome by a lost faith in life to deliver just one more better day. We spend a lot of time talking about death in this place. In trying to offer our fellow citizens the best possible life, we routinely consider the worst of it, protecting the vulnerable against harm, against the powerful, preventing needless deadly motor accidents, shielding children from predators, honouring the service of people who put their lives on the line for the protection of our state and nation before they give up on themselves, warning people who unwittingly take deadly substances that are gone in an instant. Human life is fragile. The human spirit is fragile. Supporting people who fight on internal battlefields in deep isolation are people we must acknowledge, as strong, as courageous, as worthy, and in desperate need of something that they are not getting from what their world is currently offering. Suicide is the main cause of death among people aged 15 to 49 in Australia. It is the third leading cause of premature death from injury or disease. So how do we instill hope and freedom in those who are losing their sense of it? In 1953, Menzies said, "The most important thing in any centre of population is to develop a sense of community and of community service." In fact, he believed that the heart of civilisation is something that resides in the human mind and the human spirit, and not something that can be turned on by a switch or discovered in the roar of an aeroplane engine. He goes on, "The test of civilisation is freedom, freedom of the spirit and of the mind and of the body." Marcus Aurelius follows a similar path. Body, soul, intelligence. To the body belongs sensation, to the soul, appetites, to the intelligence, principles. It is an appetite for freedom that gives us hope and the desire and the ability to connect with our fellows and be part of a civilised society. Yet my friend, alongside so many Australians, experienced overwhelming despair, isolation and constriction. The crushing pain of living was too much for someone who should have had everything to live for: friends, nephews, success, strength. Fighting for so long for that appetite for freedom that slipped away too often. Can we call ourselves a civilised nation when so many people are not okay? That so many people feel disconnected, alone, pressured to the point of breaking by expectations. My friend, like others before him, felt too often that his freedom was unattainable. He fought the world in so many ways, coming out as gay when he was 19 in the 90s, growing up in a difficult family life and separated parents, and the early loss of his father. He told me that his personal evidence had helped convict a child sex abuser. And despite this, he shone as an adult, unfailingly generous, kind, life of the party, yet with the attendant foibles of character that made him complex, troubled, and sometimes unpredictable. In engaging in what might be called a civilised ritual of his funeral this week, he helps me to find some spirit of community, the community that Menzies spoke of. But his funeral did not, and perhaps could not, honour my friend's depth and courage. Is the failure of a community to honestly reflect itself and its members a failure of civilisation? While I am grateful for the opportunity to come together with friends, to mourn, and grateful for a freedom of spirit of my own, there is more action required to embed a sense of community. I want to reinforce the courageous, quiet honesty that is required for a civilised society, with listening as an act of community service, having the courage to listen. I want to honour my friend tonight and all those who trudge through this life with complicated feelings, difficult experiences and internal battles. You might not be okay right at this moment, but hope and freedom are possible. You are not alone. A community is here for you, however you show up. Last year, at a funeral of a great old man who I've spoken about in this place before, Harold Hunt OAM, I was honoured to share some hard-earned wisdom he had shared with me. There are people who feel no hope, but nobody is hopeless. I'll end with a hopeful quote from Marcus Aurelius. "The safety of life is this, to examine everything all through, what it is itself, what is its material, what is its formal part, with all thy soul to do justice and to say the truth, What remains except to enjoy life by joining one good thing to another so as not to leave even the smallest intervals between?